The once arid Gobi Desert has been transformed into something incredible as China embarks on a groundbreaking project to reforest it and turn it into lush agriculture. From planting billions of trees to the displacement of local communities, join us as we uncover the extraordinary journey of how China is turning the Gobi Desert into a thriving oasis of agriculture. China is embarking on an extraordinary project to reforest the Gobi Desert in order to battle desertification and enhance the environment. China, which is notorious for pollution and environmental devastation, has taken on the task of changing the barren and dismal Gobi Desert into a lush forest. The region has long been plagued by enormous sandstorms, droughts, and pollution, which have been exacerbated by China's industrialization. However, the Chinese government has just undertaken a massive reforestation initiative in the Gobi Desert, planting billions of trees. According to the Chinese government, throughout several decades, around 66 billion trees have been planted in northern China. In 1978, the country began construction on the Great Green Wall of China. Deserts encompass 1/4 of China's area and are quickly increasing. This massive project, known as the Great Green Wall of China, extends over 4,480 kilometers along the country's northern border. While environmentalists throughout the world have praised the initiative, it has also generated suspicions about the government's genuine intentions. Some suspect that the reforestation initiatives are an attempt to draw international attention or to divert attention away from other possibly dangerous activities. There are questions regarding the project's long-term viability because non-native tree species that require a lot of water are being employed in parched areas. Local populations' displacement and claims of profiteering have fostered mistrust about the government's genuine intentions. Desertification can have serious environmental consequences, such as aeolian desertification, which is caused by wind erosion after vegetation is damaged, soil and water loss, which is primarily distributed in the Loess Plateau, salinization, which is caused by inefficient water management, and rock desertification, which is mostly found in the karst region of southwestern China. Desertification is spreading quickly around the world, but it is particularly severe in China. Every year, the country loses around 3,600 kilometers of farmland and grasslands to sands and deserts, according to Chinese government authorities. Recent remote sensing research, however, discovered that the extent of land lost to deserts each year approaches 4 million hectares. Since the 1950s, China has been battling large-scale desertification. Since the developing People's Republic's nation-building binge of raising forests to develop cities and infrastructures to house a burgeoning population, human development has made many regions vulnerable to wind erosion and deposition from the surrounding deserts. People are fleeing their villages and cities as a result of desertification. Environmental refugees are numbering in the millions. The Chinese government anticipates annual economic losses of roughly $50 billion. Furthermore, the problem is exacerbating dust and sandstorms. Massive dust storms, greater than the 1930s American Dust Bowls, cause severe meteorological impacts such as mud showers and black winds. Every year, the wind lifts dust from China's northern deserts and it blows it eastward towards Beijing. Dust blankets the city's residents, automobiles, and buildings, clogging airport shutters and machinery and destroying crops. As the situation in China deteriorated, the government sought to find a solution to prevent more environmental and economic harm. In response, the government established the 3 North Shelter Belt Project, also known as the Green Wall Project, a 2,800-mile tree planting operation. It was the largest environmental rehabilitation project in history. But how is China making deserts green? China's Great Green Wall of China initiative is turning deserts green. It is scheduled to last until 2050 and intends to plant nearly 88 million acres of forest surrounding the Great Wall, which spans around 3,000 miles and can be as wide as 900 miles in certain sections. Over 66 billion trees have been planted thus far. Several new huge afforestation projects have been sponsored and implemented by the Chinese government in recent years, resulting in the largest tree planting programs ever recorded. So far, the efforts have shown positive outcomes, with frequent shifting dunes stabilizing and devastating sandstorms decreasing by 1/5 between 2009 and 2014. According to a recent UN study, Chinese government authorities projected that the initiative will halt the spread of desertification induced by human activities within a decade or so. Officials also believe that by 2050, much of the dry lands will be returned to a more sustainable and productive state. Scientists predict that by 2010, the green cover will extend from outer Beijing to Inner Mongolia. The Chinese government has initiated a two-part strategy to develop the Green Wall. Aerial seeding is used to cover huge areas of land where the soil is less dry, and farmers and landowners are paid to plant shrubs and trees in areas that require special attention. The Chinese government will spend roughly $1.2 billion to put up an oversight system that includes land surveillance databases and mapping. Along with Korea and Japan, the Chinese government has also established a dust monitoring network. The Green Wall will include an outside belt ranging in width from 775 to 1,765 feet with a sand fence around the perimeter. Inside, a correct arrangement of sand-tolerant and low-lying vegetation will create an artificial habitat to stabilize the advancing dunes. The government will build a 6-foot-wide gravel platform to keep sand in place and foster the formation of a soil crust. Several projects have been supported by the Chinese government to investigate the use of genetically altered plants, grass strains developed in space, chemical dune stabilization, and agricultural techniques that will allow the rice to flourish in sandy soil. Desertification is a multifaceted process. Water erosion, overgrazing, wind erosion, drought, air pollution, climate change, and global warming are all factors. According to a few researchers and experts, the Chinese government's effort is inefficient and is deteriorating owing to corruption. Only a few trees planted so far have survived. People are planting large trees to avoid desertification, according to Jennifer L. Turner, director of the China Environment Forum. However, no one cares for the trees once they are planted, and they eventually die. Afforestation efforts can also exceed the carrying capacity of the land, resulting in the loss of vegetation and the absence of ongoing human intervention. Trees grown in the Gobi Desert can cause a significant reduction in groundwater and soil moisture. Several trees and plants planted in the region are not local or indigenous species. As a result, they absorb huge amounts of water required for native plants and grasses. It has the potential to severely degrade the soil. It is tough to know if China's Green Wall is harming or benefiting present ecosystems. In 2014, American and Chinese experts conducted research on China's largest tree planting efforts. According to the report, the extent to which the initiatives have affected ecological and socioeconomic circumstances remains unknown due to a lack of local data and statistics. There is an urgent need for international collaboration among scientists, intellectuals, and decision-makers. Planting trees in random places is not the solution to ecological concerns. Consideration should be given to the site, native plant and tree species, climate circumstances, groundwater, and so forth. The project's inclusion of secrets and hidden motives adds to the suspicion. According to speculation, China's reforestation initiatives may be a strategy for China to garner a worldwide reputation or distract attention away from other acts. These reservations cast questions on whether the initiative truly meets the goal of environmental rehabilitation. The reforestation effort has had a substantial impact. The Gobi Desert, long a desolate wasteland, is now alive with life, with lush forests sprouting up to provide a home for numerous plant and animal species. However, the project's exact long-term ramifications, as well as any hidden goals, remain unknown. Only time will tell if China's amazing endeavor to reforest the Gobi Desert is a triumph or a failure. Concerns have also been made concerning the project's long-term impact. The usage of non-native tree species that demand a lot of water has generated concerns about their long-term viability. China's exact goals are unknown, as is whether the initiative will have a long-term good influence on the environment. As the world watches and waits, time will tell if the Gobi Desert replanting represents a true dedication to restoration. In conclusion, China's attempts to plant trees in the Gobi Desert have caused big changes that make people wonder about their real goals and long-term effects. As the project moves forward, it is important to stay up to date. So, tell us in the comments what you think. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our incredible innovations.